Hey, I'm doing my final exam for my Theories of Beauty class. I'll be looking at the Sistine Chapel ceiling, the index, and There's Always Hope. And I'll be evaluating each of these through 6 different theories. First, I'm going to start off with the Sistine Chapel and trying to explain it through Kant and Bell. So when it comes to Kant, he looks at beauty as trying to explain something about why you are captivated by the Sistine Chapel and wanting nothing in return. However, the more you try to explain what you captivated by it and its beauty, you become further away from what you're actually trying to find and figure out. Uh, in order to understand it, you have to have a sense of feeling when you first see beauty. So you are trying to fully understand something. However, the more you try to understand it, the less you are able to find your answer, because it gets further and further away because you're experiencing more and you have new things that you find. And when someone is trying to judge the Sistine Chapel of its beauty, they always have they have to look at Kant's view of having one foot in two worlds. So you have a foot in uh, understanding and a foot in reason. So first you have your foot in understanding, which is a priori, which is your understanding of experiences before you actually see the picture or the ceiling, the church. So you know that it's done by Michelangelo. So it's basically the concrete information that you get about a piece of art before you actually get to experience it. And then reasoning, which is the subjective aspect, which is you are looking at the Sistine Chapel and taking in uh, what you believe is beautiful about it. So looking at the different pieces of aspects of the different paintings, colors, uh, and you're making a personal, so no one can really change it. It's not observable. It's more you find it beautiful. It's beautiful to you. So that becomes the subjective a priori. So it's a personal view with experiences and context before you experience it. And then we move on to Bell's idea of beauty, which he thought there are many concepts to be able to evaluate. Art form Bell looks aesthetically moving forms, which are the relationship or combinations of lines and colors, a significant form that is one quality common to all works of visual art. The Sistine Chapel expresses Kant's view in the way a significant form is seen through all the different lines and colors of the different aspects of the ceiling, especially because the lines come into the effect of the different beams supporting it, which divides the different artworks and the colors that are used to display the images and pictures. Uh, which include color does include black and white in Bell's point of view. And as that says, it's the combination of line and color showing the meaning of significant forms. So the combination of the two. And can speak to someone aesthetically. When someone sees the Sistine Chapel walking in and looking up for the first time, will have an aesthetic emotion, or could have. Not everybody believes in Bell, but according to Bell, you can look at something and have an aesthetic emotion brought upon you. The pure emotion of this chapel would be an ah, like an ooh, not ah moment, because of the vast detail that is put into the paintings. When thinking of the time period that it was developed, and the who actually made it too, and putting the paintings in the period and how much was put into it, because you can see you get the movement through the vast detail. both Kant and Bell are judging the aesthetic emotion of artwork. However, there are differences where Kant believes that there is no concepts and it is just pure uh, emotion that you see and are captivated by, where Bell believes there are concepts that we have to follow in order to have an aesthetic emotion. Uh, However, Kant, as I said, is looking at something without wanting anything in return, which leads me to decide that his standpoint is more convincing. I to understand and to judge, always looking for meaning or explanation allows me to find something new about the painting and something more ravishing from it. So, for example, I knew the painting on the ceiling of the human and God touching fingers is a very important picture, but I did not make the connection of it being on the Sistine Chapel, even though I knew it was by Michelangelo. I thought it was an individual, so that uh, allows me to have more a priori from a new experience. I also just simply is discovering beauty every day based on our reason and answering. To me, it is all that is needed for determining beauty, and that is why Kant convinces me more than Bell. Next, I'm going to be looking at two more theories, but looking at the Index by David Altmusian. The Index has haunted me before seeing it this semester because it's a human's body but a chicken head. Kind of creeped me out. But after seeing it throughout this last 4 months by taking Theories of Beauty, it continues to haunt me. It still haunts me because which leads to a perfect example to use in order to explain Kant's account of beauty and disinterestedness and Freud's account of art as a work of mourning. According to Freud, account of art as a work of mourning drives us even more inward, forcing a confrontation with ourselves. Mourning is normally linked to a reaction of losing something or someone. Food for thought. Once the work of mourning has been completed, the ego becomes free and uninhibited again, so we are able to go for searching for another one. With looking at the Index, we can see this as a piece of art being able to understand Freud's theory because of the fact that you look at it and mourn about the loss of whoever you may have lost in the past and then you try to revisit it or intervene or reinvest it in finding a new one and moving on and looking for the happiness in it. It is more to life, and it's also more than life than what the humans can give. The Index can be a statement to the human race that you are what you eat, more than a standard of being more on the standard of being strong, weak, or scared than thin or big. Also, in order to make meaningful art, according to Freud, our repression helps us to find and deliver the creative aspect of what art should be instead of making it without a true feeling. And then on the other hand, Kant tells us that we leave ourselves behind, causing disinterestedness in order to see the beauty in something. Kant looks at the disinterested aspect as a level of perception that is available to a true judge, and there is no bias present. This type of judgment is a free judgment, meaning it is free of all inclinations, and there is no altering beauty, so it's not useful, meaningful, and stuff like that. Also, which allows us to be intrigued in some way. When it comes to David's, the Index, there is something about it that it is intriguing to bring us closer. However, to see its beauty, we have a level of perception that we throw away our memories and beliefs for a moment to fully understand the beauty of a human body with a chicken head. Of Kant and Freud, Kant is more convincing in my decision, especially when it comes to the piece of art. I am not able to bring myself with my drives inwards forcefully towards the painting, but I rather fall back and try to examine it and look for an actual meaning, which allows me to not possess and want any meaning from it because I am confused about the artist's point of view. Which, because I'm so confused, I'm not sure how to mourn through Freud's eyes about losing something, a person or an object, and be able to reinvest my mourning into something new, which you can see with the index, because you mourn about someone who lost and you reinvest it with a chicken head, which leads that disinterested fits my understanding more with the index, which then, because of the much confusedness, I can be able to be interested, but or stand back and look at it and think, okay, what is he trying to say? And wanting to learn how this artwork is art through the eyes of the art world, and leads me to continue on with the assignment of looking at Tolstoy's and Dante's artwork, referring to Banksy's There's Always Hope. Dante claims that art is nothing special, but just a piece or a coin of a collection in a world that deems it art or not art, which is distinguished as the art world. The art world, Dante tells us that whatever you believe belongs to art, some artist or player will come along and declare it not art because they have the money and power to determine and control which flows in and out of style and flows in and out of galleries. Danto determined that the art world is like a big game of Simon Says, because many people who follow the art world will say, yes, yes, that's art, when they say it's art, and when the art world says, no, that's not art, people go, that's not art, and try to tell and explain to other people who are not in the know of the art world that so-and-so's artwork is not art, where Michelangelo's is, or Picasso's is, or certain Picasso's not art, because the art world and the artists believe it's not art in their opinion. According to the art world, they would probably deem Banksy's There's Always Hope as not art, since it's just graffiti. And the art world feels graffiti is not true art, since it's not in a gallery, where they should maybe reconsider the true meaning of Banksy's idea of what he claims is art. Whereas Tolstoy argues that something special is deemed and brought out of a piece of art. This is because an artwork, through Tolstoy's eyes, goes through 4 different steps to be able to become special. The first step being a genuine emotion, which has been provoked by the artist, and we as the audience have to truly feel this emotion, which is an intent, which leads to step 2, which is intentionally having produced an artwork, which basically means that the artist has an intent to communicate to the world what his emotions are through this artwork. And by leading to step 3, which is infecting the audience to feeling the emotion, feelings that the artist has felt, by being infected leads to the final step of bettering ourselves from the experience. That is why Banksy's There's Always Hope is a good example of something special, because it is trying to make a statement through doing great graffiti art through something that is done that you can see every day, almost anywhere on trucks, railroad, actual trains and stuff like that. I truly believe in Tolstoy's argument over Dante, far beyond and more than Dante's, because I definitely feel something special when I look at his Banksy's art, and genuinely want to better myself from experience the piece of art. I also believe that beauty is something special because of how it is being able to intrigue others, and they're trying to understand why they are attracted and what attracted them to it. And by doing this, I feel that trying to understand Banksy's statement, political statement even per se, through this, there is always hope that I can better myself through his statements. And this idea always uh, attracts people to be attracted to a piece of art and have a different experience or find something new about what triggers this spark to keep going. Art is undefinably precious since it is ever changing and can be escaped for individuals even for a short period of time, but allows us to look beyond and think of what we have and where we want to go just from having a special experience and we have or even encountering that is the very most important aspect. Thanks for watching. Bye.